Mr. Wilson has overpaid $28,724.78. Now, would you like the judge to give you credit for those payments that you've made?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and would you like the judge to order a refund on any overpayment that you've made in child support?
Yes, sir, if possible.
I object to putting this case in future pay. I think there's a lot of agreement. There's one point of one point of disagreement. So I think that the point of disagreement is that Mr. Wilson is seeking some sort of reimbursement, and the state would be opposed to that because I believe that the court has already ruled on that issue. The bigger issue, or the issue that started off as the bigger issue, was what Mr. Wilson's gross monthly was. And I think there's a meeting of the minds that number is $8,199.51.
Please, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. 8,199.
Okay.
And 51 cents.
All right, thank you.
And all that is tax-free, Your Honor. And believe that Mr. Wilson is entitled to a credit for insurance of $78. So the guideline child support amount I calculate is $1,624, but that's going to be subject to an $880 credit for the direct benefits that Ms. Henry receives. So that
okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I can repeat. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It was 880, right?
Yes, sir. That's the credit.
Okay, thank you.
So 744 is what I believe the guideline child support amount should be going forward, and I believe there's an agreement on that.
Okay.
And Mr. Glass is with me as well, Your Honor. So
okay, it doesn't matter. He's an officer of the court. He won't. This is an open court, so he can be there no matter what. So that's not a problem. All right, this time I'll go with again, counsel for Mr. Wilson's opening statement. Thank you.
All right. Yes, so we are in agreement at the total amount of tax, the net income that Mr. Wilson has in the child support would be $1,624 a month. A point of contention with Mr. Diamond, currently Mr. Wilson's Social Security check that is going to Ms. Henry as child support is $900 instead of $880, I believe. And I think Ms. Choppa would agree, but we'll see on that. And so instead of the $744, it would just be $724, I think, a month. But we'll get testimony on that. And then where we all disagree is that for years, since 2013, the child support has been set at $444 a month. And Mr. Wilson has been sending Social Security checks that far exceed that. And by my calculation, as of today, October 4th, 2023, Mr. Wilson has overpaid $28,724.78. And so we'd like to present some testimony on that and have you rule on it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Choppa.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our position is that we're agreeable to the guideline child support amount. I am not seeing how much the monthly checks were, but I knew that they were a little bit. I know that they were between 880 and 900, so we're willing to listen to testimony or see evidence regarding that. We are not in agreement to giving any future credit. We ask that the court deny and use their discretion in doing so to give any credit. Mr. Wilson has only paid $444. The rest is Social Security. It has not been modified since 2013. We know it costs well above $444 a month to raise a son or any child for that matter. And so we're asking that any relief for future credit be denied.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Starr, I didn't get that. Are you requesting future credit based on Social Security payments?
Yeah, based on past payments, we believe the law, chapter 154.014, states that if he's made payments in excess the court ordered amount, that the agency should give credit to that amount paid.
Okay,
so we're asking
you may have to go do some research on that because I hadn't looked at that in a while, but I don't think that's the if he gives the money, but this is a benefit that it's not even coming out of his side of Social Security. It's based on his disability, but the children get that in a part separate from what he gets. So I don't think I can give him future credit, but if you got some case law on that one for me, I'll let you get it for me. But I'll give you the opportunity to do so. But for right now, I don't think I can do it, sir.
Oh, okay, all right.
I can give him credit for against anything he was supposed to pay, but future pay, I don't think it's doable. But again, I haven't looked at it and I hadn't heard anything as far as training that's changed. But I'll let you I'll give you the opportunity to see do some research on that one way or the other, sir. But this time, let's go ahead and get what we can do, and I'll hold that part in abatement until you have the opportunity to do some legal research on that one, sir. But so at this time, I'll ask both Mr. Wilson and Ms. Henry to unmute themselves and raise their right hands, please. All right. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're both officially under oath, and Mr. Diamond, you can call your first witness, sir, and give your hands down. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm maybe it'd be best if I defer my case until Mr. Starr puts his on, because if he's got proof that 900 is a number, I can go with that.
All right, then. And of course, Mom would know that too. She gets it, so we'll see. But anyway, Mr. Starr, I'll go ahead and let the private counsel start, and then I'll go to Ms. Choppa, then I'll come back to Mr. Diamond. Thank you. So, Mr. Starr, you can call your client as a witness or Ms. Henry as a witness, however you want to do it, sir.
Yeah, I'll call Ms. Henry first, if that's all right, sir.
That's perfectly fine. Thank you. Ms. Henry, state your full name for the record, ma'am.
Dornisha Henry.
All right. Thank you very much. You may proceed, Mr. Starr.
All right, thank you. Ms. Henry, just very briefly, are you receiving Social Security checks each month for your son?
Yes,
Okay, and is that amount $900, do you think, each month?
it's $957.
$957 each month?
Sorry.
Last year, for the year of 2022, do you think that amount was $880 a month?
Yes,
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
I was saying you're muted. I'm muted. Sorry about that. Ms. Choppa, you're a witness. Sorry about that.
I have no questions for Ms. Henry, Your Honor.
All right, then, Mr. Starr, you can call your next witness, please.
All right, I'll call Mr. Wilson, sir.
Mr. Wilson, please state your full name for the record, sir.
John Mark Wilson.
All right, you may proceed, Mr. Starr.
All right, Mr. Wilson, going forward, the Office of the Attorney General wants to calculate how much your child support should be set at each month. You understand that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so my question to you is that when you tally up all of your income for the month and take out taxes, although your income's not taxable, is that amount $8,199.51?
Yes, sir.
And you pay $78 a month for health insurance for your son, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the amount that you're arriving on, that you just testified to, that is based on the Social Security disability you get and the amount taken from the CRSC statement that you provided to the Attorney General's office. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. And then, for the past few weeks, I've been talking to you about this case, and you're stating you've assigned your Social Security checks to go forward to your child's mother. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how long have you been doing that, would you guess?
Ever since 2013, sir.
Okay. Now, before 2017, you had other children that were getting a portion of those checks. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when those children became 18 years old, you assigned that entire amount of Social Security to Miss Henry, who is the mother of your son in this case?
Yes, sir.
And was that in about March of 2017?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I tried to do a reassessment of the child support, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the reason that you hadn't been paying the Attorney General's office directly since that time was because you've been sending your Social Security checks to Miss Henry as child support.
Right. Right.
Okay. Now, do you remember filing a notarized letter to the judge in this case where you requested that he review documents and that relate to the payments made to Miss Henry?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then part of those documents, you submitted a form called SSA 1099, which is a Social Security benefit statement. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And those were directly from the Social Security Administration, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you provided from 2017 to 2021, do you believe the amount of that money adds up to $48,192?
Yes, sir.
And do you believe that those payments are not reflected in the Attorney General's financial activity report?
Right. You're right.
And you've continued to send Social Security payments to Ms. Henry since 2021, correct?
Yes, sir.
And for the year 2022, that was about $880 a month, correct?
Yes, sir.
So total for 2022 alone, that would be $10,560 in child support. That's not accounted for, correct?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
And you recorded that in your letter to the judge in a document called Non-custodial Parents Certification of Direct Payments, and that reflects that amount, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then for the year of 2023, has that amount that you've been sending $957 a month?
It's not being reflected either, sir. Right, exactly. Actually, the document I submitted is actually a little bit less than what she's actually receiving, sir.
Okay. Now, would you like the judge to give you credit for those payments that you've made?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and would you like the judge to order a refund on any overpayment that you've made in child support?
Yes, sir, if possible.
And if he can't give you a refund, or in the alternative, you just like credit on your account that you've made payments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Choppa, you're a witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wilson, do you remember coming to court on July 7th via Zoom and being asked about your income?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember denying that you were making the $8,199 with the OAG's office as well as the expert witness that Mr. Diamond put on?
No, ma'am, I did not deny that. I denied making the amount of money that he said I was making.
But today you're testifying that that number is in fact correct, right?
Right. His number was incorrect. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, are you aware that the number that they used at that hearing is the exact same number that you're testifying to today?
No, ma'am. I'm not aware of that.
Okay. And how long have you been making have you been getting over $8,000 a month for, would you say?
This year, because we just got an increase at the beginning of this year.
Okay, and before that, do you know what the amount was that you were
No,
getting
ma'am.
monthly?
I really don't. I really
Okay.
don't. I have someone over my money now.
Okay, and your child support has not been modified since 2013, is that correct?
That's correct. But I tried to get it remodified in 2017 and we couldn't come to an agreement.
Okay, all right. And at that time, you don't remember how much you were making, correct?
Right, in 2017?
Yes.
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay, all right, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Diamond, your witness.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Wilson, the court has some questions. I need to confirm some items, sir. You were not sending over your direct Social Security check to the mother. Social Security was sending a check based to the mother for the child. Is that correct, sir?
Right, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So it never came through you. It came directly from Social Security, and you were still getting your Social Security. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, I was getting my Social Security, sir.
And how much do you get in Social Security each month, sir?
Right now, as
Yes, sir.
of today, $1,900, sir.
I'm sorry?
$1,900,
1,900. All right, thank you.
but I paid $228 in insurance.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, anything on redirect, Mr. Starr?
No redirect, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, then, any other witnesses, sir?
No further witnesses.
All right, Ms. Choppa, any witnesses, want me to call Ms. Henry on redirect, or you want to, on cross? Well, I always love when there are 3 or 4 lawyers.
No,
Redirect,
Your Honor, we
direct,
don't.
cross, recross, so yeah.
No, Your Honor, we do not have any redirect or any additional cross-examination at this time.
And no other witnesses, correct?
No other witnesses.
All right, thank you. Mr. Diamond, anything else of, any witnesses or anything else of either witness, sir?
No, the state rests subject to close, Your Honor.
All right, folks, I'll go ahead and do the closing statements, and I'll start with Mr. Starr, go down to Ms. Choppa, and then to Mr. Diamond. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We would just like the court to confirm the monthly amount of child support he owes based on the statutory guidelines. I think everyone here is in agreement with that. Additionally, I know there's maybe some contention on the law. Maybe my interpretation views differently from yours, but we believe Mr. Wilson has been making payments in excess of the child support. And it doesn't matter that it hasn't been renegotiated since 2013 as $444. Opposing party could have gone to the Attorney General's office at any time to increase the amount, but they didn't. And so the law states that it is $444 up and until you make a ruling, Judge. We're just asking you to give him his credit that he's been paid in excess of $28,724.78. No further questions. That's all, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I was waving at one of my deputies. I wasn't waving.
You're good.
Sorry about that. So, yeah. All right, Ms. Choppa.
Yes, Your Honor. It's of course still our position that Mr. Wilson should not be credited through his own testimony. He does not make direct payments. This is money that he's never touched. It goes directly to the child per the way Social Security is set out. And although the child support may not have been modified since 2013, we know that $444 is well below guideline support for this fantastic child that both of these parties share. All we're asking, we've already gone ahead and waived arrearages, and that was a lot of money that was waived, and Ms. Henry was agreeable to this. And so we're asking the court, since direct payments were not made and this is not technically support that he has given, it was something that was already Silas was already entitled to per his agreement. We're asking that he not get that additional credit, and we just go ahead and start clean from the guideline child support. And we are also asking that you confirm the $954 amount that Ms. Henry is getting for SSA for Silas, and subtract that from the guideline support and have Mr. Wilson pay the remaining difference through the AG. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Diamond, you got the new amount based on the $957 that Mr. Wilson spoke of?
Yes, Your Honor. I calculate $667.30 and would ask the court to round down to $667.
Okay, $667. Thank you.
Yeah,
Right,
yes, Your Honor.
And closing statement, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, that's just it, Your Honor. I object to putting this case in future pay. Mr. Wilson's the reason we're still here. This case should have been dealt with, months ago. And I don't put that on Mr. Starra, but if Mr. Wilson would have been forthcoming with documents, we wouldn't even still be here. If the court remembers that the court appointed Kurt Glass in this case because Mr. Wilson wouldn't do what he was supposed to do, and then Mr. Wilson wouldn't communicate with Mr. Glass. So equitably, I don't think Mr. Wilson's entitled to anything, and I don't think legally he is either.
All right, thank you, everybody.
I'm sorry, but I do ask the court to confirm the arrears is zero as of September 30th, Your Honor.
All right, then. Obviously, I'm looking at taking the arrears down to zero, the money in, the money in. I'm gonna go ahead and modify the child support and order the $667 to be paid directly by the father going forward through the state's disbursement unit for the purposes of child support. Mr. Starr, again, the great thing about being the old guy in this room is I remember when the law was and when
You know what I'm saying?
God, now I'm really getting old on you here. And the original, I argued that same point before the original back then was called the court master. It was Gordon Adams, and back in those days you didn't get credit for Social Security, period. And then they changed the law. And then you got credit for Social Security coming in. So, but it was, again, it was only for the amount is based on the fact that child, once the child, I'm sorry, so I say graduates, becomes an adult, then Mr. Wilson will not get that money that the child gets back to him. So if that was the case, then yeah, you'd be great. You'd be on that one, sir. But no, that's not the case. And I remember Judge Adams not giving my client credit, and I was so happy when they actually changed the law to allow people to get credit for the disability being based on their disability. But again, if there's something new, I'll give you the opportunity. You got 30 days to get something back to me in writing, sir, as far as a request for rehearing, and this is what the law you found. But again, that's the advantage of being the old guy, because you remember when this wasn't the law. Okay, so yeah. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go ahead and grant the everything else as per the agreement. I'm gonna waive court costs due to everybody's own disability, so there's no court costs due, and I'll allow the state to prepare that order and circulate that amongst y'all. Again, obviously, you got 30 days after I sign that order to let the court know that you found something different. If you find out something different beforehand, let everybody know and get back with me. Okay. All right. All right. So is there anything else, Mr. Starr?
That's it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ms. Choppa?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Mr.
Thank
Diamond?
you.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank y'all all very much. Everybody be safe out there. And well, I was going to say, I'm not going to jinx the Cowboys. I'm not going to jinx the Longhorns. So everybody just go ahead and go bye. All right, thank you. Yeah,
May we be excused, Your Honor?
We're having a good year so far, but yeah, that's going to go south. I just know that this cannot be continue to work out this well for me. Thank you. So,
And we're
you're free to
excused.
go.
Is that correct, Your Honor?
I'm sorry, you're dismissed. You're free to go. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'll finish writing this one up too. So thank you.
Regarding the current support, there's an agreement that dad's income is gross of $5,600. He's paying $78 a month on the healthcare, so the net would be $5,355.02. Mom is getting $957 from SSDI because of dad. So I calculate the guideline amount at $1,071. So I would be asking the court to set current child support after giving dad the credit for the SSDI stipend at $147.40. And then the court should have a FINA that I sent to the coordinator about a half hour ago. So that's the arrears that we show, Your Honor. I think it's good. So I'd ask the court to confirm the arrears that's on the FINA. My understanding is that dad would like credit for some of the stipends that have been paid to mom through SSDI. So dad would be asking for an offset based on those.
Ms. Choppa, you didn't miss anything as far as the what as soon as Mr. Diamond saw you leave, he stopped. Anything else, Mr. Diamond?
No, I just asked the court to confirm the arrears that's on the FINA and make a decision about whether or not a credit for the stipend would be appropriate, and we'll do accordingly based on what the court rules.
All right, then, Ms. Choppa, what are you requesting on behalf of your client? Ms. Choppa, it's my understanding that under the law, I'm supposed to, I'm supposed to give him credit for anything mom received under SSDI. So, you know, I'm not, unless you're claiming that that's something different, or that's her SSDI or something, just go ahead and tell the court what you understand the circumstances to be and what you're requesting, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. It is our understanding as well as the SSDI is able to be taken away as part of the child support. And so we're fine with confirming everything in that aspect. We also asked the court to affirm the arrearages as well. And our position is we understand that Mr. Wilson believes that he's made direct payments, though my client maintains these direct payments have never been received by her. And she's asking that Mr. Wilson prove that these payments were made to her and what format they were made and what they were for, as she has never received anything outside of the SSDI since 2011 when the original orders went into place.
All right, then, Ms. Choppa, I understand you're claiming that you have any problem with the SSDI credits, but you're saying that the father claims that there are other direct payments that he should get credit for, correct?
Correct. And also the SSDI does not cover what his guideline child support would be. So there's.
Right, I understand that. We always
Yes,
do the difference. That's not a problem, but I was just trying to make sure that I was thinking that the direct payment credit he was requesting was all the SSDI. This has something separate. And does anybody know when the last time there was last time the child support was modified in this case? If there was ever a modification since the original order?
I don't believe there has been, Your Honor.
Okay, so we can go back since, okay, anything that happened since the last order, then we can take up. So anyway, and again, Mr. Wilson, at this time, I don't let pro se litigants make opening. You'll be able to make a closing argument, but I see what we're looking at here. And Ms. Choppa is asking if you're asking for any type of direct payment credit, that you'll have to produce evidence that either by electronic receipts or something that shows that that those payments were made and that the mother actually did receive those and they were for child support. So again, that burden would fall upon you, sir, as your own legal representative. But if you got proof, you got proof. If you don't, you don't. Well, and we'll see what you have. Anyway, at this time, Ms. Henry and Mr. Wilson, both please raise your right hands, please. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're gonna give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
I do.
I do.
All right, thank you both very much. I'm gonna go ahead and let the state call you both as witnesses. Ma'am, you can put your hand down. And Mr. Wilson, again, at the end of the hearing, if there's a closing statement or closing argument you wish to make, or if you wish to, I don't think, Mr. Wilson, you don't have any witnesses here on your behalf today, do you, sir?
No, sir. No,
All
sir.
right, and so you're your own legal rep, so I just want to make sure. Anyway, I'll go ahead and let the state call you both as individual witnesses, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
So, Your Honor, I'd like to begin by offering what's been marked as States 1. It's a financial exhibit, and the court should have this. The party's been emailed, but I can also share a screen if the court would like.
I've got the original here. Folks, this is States Exhibit number 1 that shows what funds have been paid through the State Disbursement Unit and what's the official record of the state of Texas as far as what child support has been paid and not paid in this case. Is there any legal reason I should not be allowed to allow this in evidence at this time? And I'll start with Ms. Choppa. Any objection, ma'am?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Wilson, any legal reason this shouldn't come in evidence, sir?
No, sir. No objection.
All right, States 1's admitted. You may proceed, Mr. Diamond.
Call John Wilson, Your Honor.
That's Sam.
Will you state your full name, sir?
John Mark Wilson.
Hey, were you able to listen to my opening statement of the court, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything that needs to be corrected in that?
No, sir.
Okay. So, in my understanding, Mr. Wilson, you're asking the court not to order any child support on top of the stipend that your son's mother is receiving. Is that correct?
Right. Not to add. Right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So, why do you believe that would be? Why do you believe that would be appropriate?
Because according to your guidelines, her SSDI is actually what my child support amount would be according to your guidelines and your website. And I make $5,600 a month, like me and you discussed before. And then as far as in my mind, that I shouldn't have to pay no more child support because it covers what my child support currently is, which is $444, which I know it's going to go up. But I did file for a reconsideration back in 2017. Somehow the case got dropped. I asked for.
Wait, sir, you're getting way beyond the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're telling the whole question. And here's the deal, sir. The state is doing calculations based on what your income is right now. And
right.
Whatever that child support is, whatever that comes out to be, that should be your child support amount. And if it's covered by the SSDI, then that's fine. And then it's
okay.
Zero. But if it's not, if you make enough with it that and I think the state is telling the court that the state's official calculations here in court today, not what you did on the website,
right?
You'd have to pay an additional $147 on top of the SSDI to make up the difference. So so I'll let the state elaborate on that and ask you further questions at this time, sir. Thank you.
I apologize.
Yeah,
okay,
so we'll cover what's owed in a minute, Mr. Wilson, but let's just talk about what you get paid going forward.
Okay.
All right. So you're a disabled veteran, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You asked the court to consider that when deciding whether or not to assess court costs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of a hardship would it be for you to have to pay the additional $147?
I'm pretty much trying to keep my head above water now. As far as I got a home. I know it's none of y'all concerned, but I also got to take care of my mother, and just trying to live day to day.
What type of issues does your mother face?
She lives by herself, and I have pretty much on her caretaker, and she really doesn't have that much income to even buy her own groceries. So stuff like that. And I have an all right life and, you know, whatever, but as far as taking care of my mother, that would cost a lot.
So about how much a month of your income do you spend caring for your mother?
I would say about $300-400 as far as helping her pay her light bill and also her groceries and taking her to the doctor. I'm in the process of now trying to get her assistance from the VA with me and my father. So my father was in the military also. So that's, you know, I mean, I know that's not concerning you guys, but that's my whole situation.
Okay. Are there any other hardships that the court ought to take into consideration?
No, sir. That's it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the money looking back about what's owed. So you heard the court admitted the pay record. So I show $36,501.06 as of May 31st is what my records show that should be owed. What do you think that number should be?
I think that number should actually be zero. My reason for that is back in 2017, like I was trying to address earlier.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. One question at a time. Okay, he'll ask you why you think that, but you answered the question already. Sorry.
How long has a stipend been getting paid to your child's mother?
Since 2012.
And do you know what the stipend was back in 2012?
Well, back in 2012, I had 2 other kids up under me, so she was receiving about $200 to $300. I think it was about $300.
Okay, so the stipend was less than the child support that was ordered, though. Is that correct?
Right, and I was sending in $444 if you look at the records.
I think that does, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
All right, sir. I'm gonna be back in a few minutes, and but I want to hear everything else so I can see what mom's agreeing to and not agreeing to, and then we can come back and let you elaborate on what you need to, sir. But this time, I'm gonna go ahead and allow you as a witness to Ms. Choppa. Ms. Choppa, you're a witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wilson. Do you know how much money it costs monthly for Silas, the support of Silas?
I could give a rough estimate, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Is Silas on his way to be with you right now?
Yes, ma'am.
How long is he going to stay with you this summer?
2 weeks.
Okay. And about how much do your expenses go up whenever Silas comes to the house?
As far as home expenses, it goes up about $200 because I take them grocery shopping. I'm letting them buy whatever you want for those 2 weeks, and then I take them school shopping for some clothes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Before he goes back,
And,
tennis shoes or whatever he wants.
have you ever submitted any of these receipts or anything like that to mom?
No.
Showing
No.
the cost? No.
I don't even. That's for him. That's not. No, that's just for him. That's what I do for him.
Okay. Okay. So you do that separately for Silas. Okay. And why do you, so you understand that guideline support is based off of an equation, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the amount of 1071 minus the SSI would be too difficult for you to cover?
So you want? I'm not understanding the question.
Oh, so 1071 would be guideline support based on your 5,600 earnings, but we're accounting for the 957 that she gets for SSI. So I'm saying that difference, the 100, and I'm sorry, I'm really bad at math, with little, without a calculator, the additional money you would not be able to cover.
I'm not saying I wouldn't be able to cover it, but it would cause a strain on me. I like I said, I'm trying to take care of my mother. I'm trying to handle my personal life myself. I mean, you got $172, $100 whatever dollars. It wouldn't kill me, but it would hurt me. It would throw me off. I would probably have to.
Okay, sir. Again, yeah. I don't need to keep interrupting.
Sorry,
You've answered the question, sir. I got it. Thank you. Next question, Ms. Choppa. Thank you.
Thank you. Isn't Silas also a part of one of your personal life as well, though?
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree with that.
Okay. Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Anything on redirect, Mr. Diamond?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Wilson, like I said, I'm gonna come back to you in just a moment, but I'm gonna go ahead and let the state call the next witness and see what what I'm looking at mathematically before we get to some more testimony from you, sir. You may proceed at this time, Mr. Diamond. Thank you.
Ms. Henry, will you state your full name, please?
Dornisha Henry.
And were you able to listen to my statement to the court, Ms. Henry?
Yes, sir.
Anything that needs to be corrected?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. The big question I'm asking, the 5,600 is the starting point for calculating Mr. Wilson's income, and the $78 credit for what he pays in medical support. We agree on those numbers?
If that is what you guys have, yes. Because I don't know them like verbatim.
Okay. Do you believe that, so I calculated $1,071 as being the guideline child support, and giving credit for the stipend that you receive through SSDI, $147.40 would be the difference that I would be asking Mr. Wilson to pay. You agree with that number?
Yes.
Okay. And do you believe that that's appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the arrearage. What direct payments have you received from Mr. Wilson? Okay. And you're asking the court to confirm the arrearage in the full amount of $36,501.06.
Yes.
All right. Do you believe that Mr. Wilson ought to get credit for some of the SSDI stipends that you've received against that number?
Yes.
Okay. What sort of credit do you believe that he? So I'm just to be clear, I'm talking about from the money that's owed looking back, not about what he's going to have to pay going forward. So I'll ask that again. You believe he ought to be given a credit for some of the stipends you've received against that $35,000 that he owes you?
Yes.
What sort of credit do you believe he ought to be given?
Mr. Diamond, you have to go down that path. It's the law's clear on that one. I got to give him 100%. So, so I need right now. I don't know what those amounts are looking at. Now, that may be coming from her attorney and not from her. So you can move on from that line, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll pass away this, Your Honor.
All right, then. Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Ms. Choppa, your witness.
No questions for Ms. Henry.
All right, before I get into anything as far as what Dad is going to request at this point, has anyone done the math on what the exact amount that Mom has received from Social Security disability for the child since she started getting it?
Your Honor, the documents I have are patchy. I think back in 2000, I have some numbers from back in 2012, but I don't know that I have document. It changes every year, and I don't have documentation year to year.
No one got a copy from Social Security what monies have been paid directly for the child's benefit?
If you give me just a.
Yes, sir. Do you have a copy
No,
of
Your
those?
Honor.
Mr. Wilson,
You talking to me, Judge?
do you have anything official from Social Security showing what has been sent to the mom for the benefit of this child during the all time frame, sir?
Yes, sir. I've turned it in. I've emailed it to the court.
Okay. And that came from Social Security?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Choppa, do you have a copy of that readout?
I do not, Your Honor, but I can confirm that since January of 2023, she has been receiving 957. That was the new amount, but
Right.
that's January of 2023. Anything before that, we would need documentation.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna, okay, right now, I don't think I can finish this one up without getting that documentation for Social Security. But right now, I'm looking at a $30,000 judgment that that will probably definitely be reduced, but by how much? Because right now, the financial activity report I have in this case, Mr. Wilson, includes 6% interest over all these years. And what I need to do is get a readout from Social Security when we can plug in those payments as they were made in your behalf, sir. And that way I can give you full credit for those payments as they were made and not hit it with the 6% interest going forward. Right now, if I just did a total amount that she received and hit it as of today's date, you'll still be stuck with the interest on all those funds. So, Mr. Diamond, are you showing the paperwork that Mr. Wilson's saying he forwarded out to y'all? I guess showing what because I get readouts from Social Security all the time, and I'm pretty sure they kept accurate records on what was sent. Do you have a copy of what they say they paid out since what was 2012?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm working on that, Your Honor. We've got the virtual case file is voluminous, Your Honor, and
okay. Mr.
I'm
Wilson,
trying to sort through it.
do you have that available right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there any way, do you have that as a PDF on your computer?
I have it. I emailed to the child support office. I can forward the email to you if I can. Yes, sir.
All
I
right.
can.
All right. I'll tell you what. Oh, okay. My assistant says she's also got it. I'll tell you what, could you go ahead and Belinda, bring that in and CC a copy of it to Ms. Choppa, please? And Mr. Diamond, that way they'll have it up on top. All right, while we're waiting for that, Mr. Wilson, do you have, you said you also you're requesting direct payment credits. What documentation do you have that shows that you made direct payments to the mother for the purpose of child support, sir?
Oh, with the child support, as far as from that's what I'm trying to explain. From 2012 up until 2017, I was sending in 444 through a money order.
Yeah, I see that, sir. That's right on here.
Now, after 2017, no, sir, I stopped paying because she was receiving. So, because went 2017, my two daughters graduated in 2016. So she started receiving the whole Social Security check, which was at that time, let's say $780 something.
Yeah, so every year there's been a COLA, since then there's been a COLA update for that. And so, okay, I see what you're getting at, sir. I got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, the judge was a finance major in college. I get it.
So you're following the numbers, right, sir? Yes,
yeah,
sir.
well, I haven't had to use it. My dad paid for that, paid all that money for those the degrees in undergraduate and graduate school, and I rarely get a chance to use what he paid for. So
Don't pay off today.
Anyway, what I'm going to need, like I said, I'll have the my assistants forwarding this out. So.
Your Honor, so I have an award letter, but this is from back in 2012. So it doesn't show any kind of revision since then.
I haven't been this in evidence, folks. I'm just trying to see what it is right quick. And
oh, you know what?
It looks like there's a form of a readout that he sent over to us, and I need, like I said, have you. Obviously, I'm going to need both of y'all to take a look at it. Then Mr. Diamond plug in the appropriate amounts, which means you have to send this all back to y'all's finance to get it done. And then, of course, Ms. Choppa, you'll have the opportunity to put it into an Excel if someone in, or if you need to get someone in your office to do it for you, get that set up where we can see what we're looking at going forward. But I don't think we're going to get through here today, folks.
Yes, Your Honor, I agree. Is there any way that we can get another date so that we can reconvene after we have these numbers?
Yes, ma'am. My problem is that I don't, my special settings, I would like to do this as a special setting. That way y'all the only one I have at that time and they want to sit around all day. But I'm gonna go ahead and reset this matter for 1:30 p.m. next Friday. And I will go ahead and send out the Zoom code. You're gonna be the only thing I hear at that time. Obviously by then, Ms. Choppa will have the opportunity to go over that and do her own figures if she needs to. Here's the deal, Mr. Diamond, as soon as y'all run those figures and get a new readout as far as the financial activity form report is concerned, please forward a copy of that to both Ms. Choppa and Mr. Wilson, please. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anyway, folks, again, I'll go ahead and take the rest of this up next Friday on at 1:30 p.m. Is there anything else I need to do today that as far as this matter is concerned? And and Mr. Wilson, you got to pay the difference, sir. I'm sorry. There's just no way around that.
Yeah, that's what I was actually. That was what my question was going to be.
Yeah, I got to order the difference, sir. It's technically owed, and luckily you got some SSDI coming in. I understand. I would love to say before my mother passed away, I took care of her. But thanks to Dad setting up all those annuities, she made more money than I did. So yeah. So somebody asked me, "Is your mom okay?" I said, "She makes more money than I do." So that worked. So anyway, I'll see everybody next Friday, and I'll go ahead and get that Zoom code at this point. Anything else, Ms. Choppa, that we need on your side, ma'am?
Nothing further on our side, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Diamond?
No, Your Honor.
And we're off the record, guys. Thank you.
The monthly gross income is $23,333. No union dues or medical insurance. The net income is $16,833.75, leaving monthly child support at $1,840.
It appears there was a temporary order in this case that made a finding of Mr. Ward's gross monthly resources to be $2,439 each month. Seems
I
drastically lower than the current amount.
don't, again, Your Honor, I don't know how they came up with that number, and he's not here. And do you know where Mr. Ward lives?
With his mom.